Hey guys, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're doing the Hufflepuff Book Tag. So this was a tag created by Abigail's Book Corner. I will leave their original video that they actually created in like November of 2019, so it is very relatively new. I will leave it linked down below in case you guys want to check their video out as well. I have not looked at the questions yet. All I know is that I'm a Hufflepuff and I was looking for some Hufflepuff related book tag things within the last couple weeks because on Twitter there was somebody that was like promoting a Ravenclaw book tag. So if you guys are Ravenclaws, you can take a look and see if that has been posted yet. But it was a relatively new one for that. And I was just curious to see if there was any Hufflepuff ones, and I found one and it was pretty new and I got excited. So what we're gonna do is jump into the questions. Like I said, I have not looked into these very much because I want it to be very organic in my picking of books. So let's see. The first one is Harry Potter. Which Harry Potter book is your favorite? Oh goodness. I think I want to go with Goblet of Fire. I was really debating between Goblet of Fire and Order of the Phoenix because this is when it sort of, at least for me, really got, like, started getting the darkness into the books. I feel like the first three books were definitely a little bit more middle grade, whereas this definitely started getting into the older age groups. But this one's not as dark and sad as some of the rest of the ones in the series. I also just really love the Goblet of Fire, like, Triwizard Tournament aspect and the new characters we got, and yes, I think we're gonna go with Goblet of Fire. Next, we have loyalty. Hufflepuffs are known for their undying loyalty. Name an insta-buy author. For me, I think I'm gonna have to go with Cassandra Clare. This is the first one I pulled off the shelf because I believe it is like the newest one that I have purchased. So this is also with Wesley Chu. I haven't read any other of his books. I will hopefully get to that in the future, but I wanna say I have every single book Cassandra Clare has written, including the Magisterium series, and some of those books I have multiple copies of. So yes, I think I would probably read anything she writes. Next, we have animals and magical creatures. As Hufflepuffs, we tend to have a great love for animals. Name a book or series that has your favorite animal or magical creature in it. As soon as I got this question, I basically forgot about all animals or magical creatures in all of my books. This one took me a while. But I am gonna go with Artemis Fowl by Owen Colfer. I'm gonna be talking about, I guess, the fairies in this book, specifically Holly, our main fairy character. I absolutely love her, and like, you would not have this series without her, but also Foley, who is a centaur, so that again, another magical creature, another very important part of all of these books. You obviously have Artemis Fowl, who is like the kid genius anti-hero of this series, but you would not have what Artemis Fowl is about without Holly or Foley, and this is like my favorite middle grade series from when I was growing up, and so I think this fits for magical creatures. I also just love these like newer covers that they created, and I'm very excited to see the movie that is definitely coming out this year. Next, we have Trustworthy. Yes, we Hufflepuffs are very trustworthy, but books can also be trustworthy. Name a series in which none of the books disappointed you. For that, I'm gonna have to go with the Illuminae Files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I absolutely love this series, gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Let me put down 2 out of 3 of these because they are very heavy. 5 out of 5 stars for this entire series. I absolutely loved every single one. I want to say this is a pretty hyped book series. However, when I read this first one, like the month it came out, I don't think it was as hyped as it is now. But it is definitely like found footage type of books. It has like dossiers and emails and texts and like computer stuff and people that have had to sort of write down what happened on security footage. So like, it is all just, like I said, basically like found footage for a book. It is also a sci-fi. I absolutely love sci-fis, but it is sometimes hard to find like the perfect one, and these are amazing. Every single one. I love the characters, I love the settings, I love how fast-paced it goes sometimes, because you just want more and more and more. You need focus, please. You just want more and more and more. You need to find out what happened. And yes, absolutely love these. None of them let me down. Then we have caring. Us Hufflepuffs care for others a lot, even fictional characters. Name a book or series whose main character holds a special place in your heart. For that, we went back to my middle grade area shelf, and we're gonna pull up Anne of Green Gables. This is another book and series. I actually have 3 different copies of the first book in this series, and these are the 2 most gorgeous ones. I couldn't decide which one to bring up here. This is another series that I started reading in late elementary school. I want to say maybe like 6th grade. And it has stuck with me ever since then, especially our main character of Anne. I've also watched the TV adaptations, both Anne with an E and the older version that I remember my mom actually having on VHS when I started these books. I just love her spunk and her character and the way she wants to do things and finds ways to do it, but she's also very imaginative and creative, and nothing really holds her back, especially for like the time period that these books were written to be in. I have always loved Anne, and I always will. Kindness. Hufflepuffs always strive to be kind to others, no matter who they are. Name a book or series that you love despite its flaws and imperfections. And I think this is when me as a Hufflepuff has to pull down my Stephenie Meyer, especially Twilight. I could have also technically picked Stephenie Meyer for the insta-buy author, because literally I will pick up anything she has written as well. I have all the Twilights, I have The Host, and I have her adult thriller, The Chemist, which was completely different from anything else she has ever written. But I do think I have to go with the Twilight series for this question. These are my original books from, I want to say this first one came out like my sophomore year of high school, 2005. I was 15, so yes, I want to say definitely sophomore year of high school. These are actually all signed as well. I know that there are not so good points about the series, but the nostalgia, like, you cannot tell me that this was not a popular series. We all know it was a popular series. I just don't think, unless you've lived through how popular this was, you can really truly understand. This first book came out when I was a sophomore in high school, and I think almost every single girl in my grade read this book. Not only that, but some of the guys as well. I had some guy best friends, actually quite a few guy best friends, that also read these books. And yes, they might not be objectively the best written or anything like that, and I know some people have some really big issues with New Moon near the beginning, which I actually think Stephenie Meyer did a pretty good job sort of depicting depression in Bella. I'm not going to get into it. I've talked to my friends about this before, but yes, they are not the best written books. They are not also the worst written books, and I still have love for this series. I actually haven't read them in a while, and I do want to reread them soon just because of that nostalgia. Yes, even with imperfections, I still love it. And then our last question is patience. Hufflepuffs tend to be very patient, and that is a useful trait when reading slow-paced books. Name a book you struggled to get through, but stuck it out until the end. I think for this one, I'm gonna have to go with Ill Wind by Rachel Caine. This book by Rachel Caine, I think I gave like a 3 stars because it was my least favorite from her. I have read her Revivalist series and really enjoyed that one, so I was really looking forward to reading this book, which is like a paranormal series about people who can control the weather, sort of like elementalists. However, It is definitely a slow-paced book. I do have the second and third one in this series because I do want to give this series another chance because there were some interesting redeeming elements for it. However, my biggest issue with this series, and I think you definitely need patience to get through it, are the way that the chapters are sort of laid out in this book. So chapter 1 starts on page 1, obviously. Chapter 2 starts on page 72. 72. That is a ridiculous amount of pages for a chapter. And it's not like these chapters had like breaks in it to really like put your bookmark in there in case you needed to put it down. No, not really. It was definitely just full-on chapters. Let me see, how many chapters total did we even have? 5. This book has 5 total chapters. Chapter 5 actually starts on page 273. So yes, it was a slog to get through because I am definitely someone who does not like to stop reading something unless I have a place, like a chapter, to put my bookmark. And this was really, really hard. That was the main reason I want to say I gave it 3 stars, but again, the patience paid off. It wasn't horrible, and there was a sort of twist at the end that I didn't see coming, and I'm sort of intrigued to see what's going to happen next, which is why I do still have books 2 and 3 in the series. I don't know when I'm going to get to them, but I do want to give it another try. And that was the whole Hufflepuff book tag. I had a really fun time doing this. Again, I'm going to leave the creator's original video linked down below in case you do want to check that out, because again, this is a relatively new book tag, just got created in November of 2019. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you would like to see more videos. I do have videos up on Mondays and Thursdays, so I will see you then. Bye!